want to have a lush green lawn all summer long. We want the greenest in the neighborhood, right? And you might wonder, as we did, should we spend the money to aerate or to power rake? Now, these lawn services, they all come at a price. So before Jerry Goodspeed left Studio 5 today, we had to ask him, does every lawn need to be treated this way? When should we do it? What's best? So let's start with power raking versus aerating. What's the difference?
So power raking is actually where it cuts the blades, and it's usually used for when we have a warm season grass like Bermuda grass or others that'll kind of cut it up so that it's in smaller pieces and established. We don't want any of those grasses here in the north. And so we don't really recommend power raking a lot.
Okay. If you do once every couple years, or? That's
up to you. It really, in my opinion, doesn't do anything.
Okay, now.
It causes a little more work, that's what I'm telling you.
What about aerating?
So aerating, I am an advocate of. And aerating, what it does is it pulls the plug. And so what it does is it actually creates air pockets where the roots can grow in. Over time, your turf becomes compacted and really hard, and then the grass doesn't do as well.
And now we're seeing in the video here, it pulls those plugs out. How long does it take for those to, because I know a lot of people don't like to do it because they're afraid of the plugs. Do they eventually go away?
Yeah, they do. In fact, I recommend that. I recommend that you aerate to pull the plugs and then you leave them because they disintegrate pretty quickly, usually within, anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. And you can mow them. And I think that's actually part of the benefit because some of those microbes that are on those little plugs will start to work their way down and reduce the thatch layer and the compaction of your lawn.
Now, when should we aerate? In spring or fall or both?
If you have a really hard clay soil, you might want to consider both. In my opinion, once a year is probably fine. If you have a sandy soil, maybe once every 2 or 3 years is going to be plenty, because the biggest benefit is you're reducing the compaction.
Okay.
And sandy soils normally don't have a lot of it.
Okay, and what's the price point a little bit on this?
Well, normally that's about the same, and it depends on who you talk to. You can call them up and get bids. The bigger the lawn, obviously, the more you're going to pay. But as a general rule, they're pretty close to being the same amount of money.
Jerry, we appreciate you being here with us. Hopefully that solves some of the dilemmas on power raking versus aerating.